Hello everyone, welcome to Mastery. It's Rosario's Academy. In this session again we're going to discuss about bad debts, provision for bad and doubtful debts. If both these two accounts are there in both the places, trial balance as well as the adjustments. It's an extension of the previous discussion. As far as our previous example is concerned, we had the lower value of the trial balance provision than the newly adjusted provision value. So that's why we have shown it on the debit side of the P&L, isn't it? So here I just want to show an example of the higher value of trial balance provision. If we are having higher value of trial balance provision, how to treat it in the credit side? Because during our last discussion I have just explained that it should be shown on the credit side, but I didn't explain with an example, isn't it? So that's why I just want to explain with an example. Okay, so I have taken the same example. Only thing is I have changed the previous provision, that is trial balance provision, from 10,000 to 15,000. How it should be treated. Okay, so whenever we have come across like this all kind of bad debts, what we have to do is we have to make it roughly. We have to calculate roughly whether the adjusted provision is higher than the previous provision or lower than the existing provision. That we should calculate roughly. Let me calculate here. Bad debt is 5,000, isn't it? So bad debt is, newly adjusted bad debt is 5,000. So after subtracting the write off bad debts, what is the value? 1 lakh. So out of that we need to make a provision for bad and doubtful debts. We should cancel 2 zeros, so 5,000. So just add everything. 2,000 plus 2,000 plus new bad debts is 5,000. Then new provision is 5,000. Okay, just roughly add 5 plus 5, 10 plus 2 is 12,000. So 12,000 is lower than the trial balance provision. So we cannot make all these adjustments on the debit side of the P&L. So in order to know whether it is higher than this or lower than this, simply roughly we are calculating and identifying the value. Okay, since it is lower than the trial balance provision, we need to do all the operations on the credit side of the P&L, because we are adjusting. Because the existing provision that we have arrived is 15,000. Then after making the adjustment, we need to have the provision of this value. So we are adjusting to this value. So automatically it is getting reduced. So provision is getting reduced. So it's a gain for us, isn't it? So that's why it is shown on the credit side of the P&L. So here let's start the final account treatment. Let's begin with the P&L treatment. Okay, so P&L, debtor, profit and loss account, and creditor. So since the trial balance provision is higher than the calculated computed value, we have to start with the trial balance provision. So just write by provision for bad and doubtful debts. Bad and doubtful debts. How much? What is the value? That is 15,000. So from this value only we gonna subtract the computed value, that is all other elements. So write less. Okay, so here we gonna write 1 by 1. So instead of subtracting 1 by 1, what we can do is we can write it and put all the value inside, that is inside of the inner column. Then we can add together. Finally we can put the value and we can subtract from the 15,000. So nothing wrong in it. So I'm gonna do like that. So by bad debts, that is trial balance bad debts value, how much? 2,000 by 2,000. Then add, here I'm adding. Okay, so add by how much? New write-off value. Bad debts write-off. Bad debts write-off. Write-off value. How much? 5,000. 5,000. Then you can add by provision, that is required adjustment provision. Okay, So provision for bad and doubtful. Provision for bad and doubtful debts. How much? 5,000. So you can write the close and you can put it in the inner column. This inner column, that's the outer column. Okay. So you can put it in the inner column. 5 plus 5 is 10 plus 2 is 12,000. So this is what the required value. So we are adjusting up to this value. So the existing value is, since it is higher, we are adjusting to this value. So the balance should be written at the credit side of the P&L, 3,000. Okay, so 3,000 is the balance value. Then this is what the only difference since the trial balance provision is higher. Other than that, the balance sheet treatment is going to be the same. Okay, let me do it. This is liability side and this is asset side. Just I am doing shortly. Okay, sundry debtor. How much? 1,05,000. 1,05,000 less bad debts write off. Bad debts write off. How much? 5,000. So after subtracting it, what is the value? 1 lakh. Isn't it? So again we are subtracting the provision. Provision for doubtful debts. Provision for doubtful debts. How much? 5,000. So you can write the balance value, that is good debts, 95,000. So this is what, that is how we have to make the treatment if the trial balance provision is higher than the computed required provision. Okay, so as far as the balance sheet treatment is concerned, it is same as the previous example, and then only thing is we are instead of making on the debit side, we are making on the credit side, because we are adjusting. When we are adjusting the existing provision, the value is getting reduced. So since it is a business loss, it is adjusted with the profit and loss account. Since the value, the required provision is lesser than the existing ledger value, we are making the adjustment arrangement on the credit side. I hope you get it. ஏதாவது சந்தேகம் இருந்தால் கமெண்ட் லிங்கில் போடுங்க. இன்னொரு சில எக்ஸாம்பிளோட நம்ம இதை டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணலாம். ஓகே, இந்த மாதிரியும் சம்ஸ் வந்துடலாம். அதனால தான் நான் ஏற்கனவே உங்களுக்கு சொல்லியிருந்தேன், ஃபஸ்ட்டு இந்த ஆப்ரேஷன்ஸ் தொடங்குறதுக்கு முன்னாடி, பேலன்ஸ் ஷீட் ஃபைனல் அக்கௌண்ட் ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் தொடங்குறதுக்கு முன்னாடி நீங்கள் ரஃபாக வேல்யூவை செக் பண்ணிட்டீங்க அப்படின்னா அது டெபிட் சைடு வருமா இல்லை கிரெடிட் சைடு வருமாங்கிறத நம்ம டிசைட் பண்ணிட்டு அக்கார்டிங்லி வி கேன் ஸ்டார்ட் த ட்ரீட்மெண்ட். ஏன்னா நம்ம ஓல்ட் ப்ரொவிஷனை வச்சுட்டு அதிலிருந்து மற்ற விஷயங்களை சப்ட்ராக்ட் பண்ணணுமா, இல்லை ஓல்ட் ப்ரொவிஷனை நியூ ப்ரொவிஷன் அது ரிக்வயர்ட் ப்ரொவிஷன் வந்து சப்ட்ராக்ட் பண்ணுறோமா டெபிட் சைடு அப்படிங்கிறத நம்ம டிசைட் பண்ணோம்னா இங்கே ஏற்கனவே நம்ம ரஃபாக கேல்குலேட் பண்ணி பார்த்துக்கணும். ஓகே, other than that, don't confuse with the balance sheet treatment. It is similar, same as the previous example. Okay, then இதுக்கப்புறமும் நம்ம ஒரு விஷயத்தை வந்து சப்ட்ராக்ட் பண்ணுவோம். அடுத்த ஒரு ப்ரொவிஷனை நம்ம கிரியேட் பண்ணுவோம். தட் இஸ் ப்ரொவிஷன் ஆன் டிஸ்கவுண்ட் ஆன் டெட்டாஸ். இந்த அட்ஜஸ்ட்மெண்ட் பற்றி நம்ம அடுத்த வர வீடியோவில் டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணுவோம். இன்னும் நிறைய டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணலாம். ப்ளீஸ் ஸ்டே கனெக்டட். ப்ளீஸ் ஸ்டே சப்ஸ்கிரைப்ட். Thank you so much for watching.